Hi guys, and welcome to Freckle Finance. Today I thought I would give you an update on my 2016 financial goals. It is now February, so I thought it was a good time to cover how it went in January. So the first goal that I discussed was about saving 45% of my net income, and I'm happy to say that in the month of January I saved about 50%. I think it was 50.36% of my income, and this is into my investment. So if I talk about other savings categories, this is strictly towards the early retirement slash house slash just like longer term investments, which are truly investments, not my savings towards vacations. Now, obviously that was higher than my goal. However, I'm probably not going to be able to maintain 50%. For example, at the end of January, I actually went out of town. There was a family thing that I had to go to. It was unexpected and last minute. I have now added the spending that I did for that because I had to rent a hotel and food costs and stuff. That is actually being added into my February spending just because it was so last minute. I had already paid all my bills. I had paid my savings account. Into my investment, all my money was moved. So I've moved that into the February category of spending. So my February is going to be a little bit less for investments. It's going to be more in line with kind of what I planned every month, basically, to save. And I'm obviously going to have to decrease the rest of my spending for the rest of February. So that's going to be fun. So my second goal was related to having enough money to make sure that I can go on the vacations I want to do. And the basic update is that there's not much of an update on that. We haven't really discussed more about vacations. Obviously the one is in December. I won't know anything about the cost of that. And basically I've just set up an estimate on what I think they are. And I have what I have in my account for that and how much I will need to save a month. And that's basically what I've done. However, I did discuss that I am going to BC. That is actually going to be 4 days from when I'm filming this, and potentially a few days after I post it. It depends on when I post this video. And mostly we've just tried to reduce I had an estimate of how much I thought we were going to spend, and we have dramatically reduced it because now we have planned it. And that reduction in how much I'm spending on that trip will either be able to go towards possibly it being more expensive on other trips than I planned, or it could just be more money that I put into my investment portfolio at this point. So I want to be able to go on I want to be able to go on vacation, but also I never want to spend more money than necessary. I don't need to have like luxury experiences when I go on my vacation. So I'm trying to, get a good middle ground between being able to travel, which is something that I love to do, but also not being too splurgy and being able to save as much as I can towards early retirement, which is a bit of a crazy balancing act sometimes. As well, because this is more of a visiting a friend type of trip than a traveling trip, we aren't doing much sightseeing. I have done that before the last time I went to visit her. So most of it is just us hanging out at our house, cooking at her house because she loves to cook like me. So we don't have to spend a lot of money going on touristy things or anything like that. I'm just living like a local while I'm there. So my next goal was related to tracking my spending and being more aware of what I do spend my spending money on, and putting it towards things that are more important to me. Like I had said that I want to be able to work on getting nice clothing, which I will touch on in a second because that was kind of a separate goal. But it was also to reduce the amount of junk food that I buy because it's essentially a waste of money. Now, I still did buy some junk food this month, or in the month of January. I still did. It was greatly reduced. However, I kind of spent a lot of money on one junk food. I'm really into fancy chocolate. I'm trying to control myself. I will work on it. Obviously, these things don't change overnight. You don't become perfect at not buying like your favorite select food item or whatever, and I'm a huge foodie, but I am going to continue to work on it, and so far in the month of February, it's been better the whole, 1 week it's been. But yes, so I did track everything in my planner, as I said I would, and I kind of found it tedious and annoying. And then at some point during the month of January, I became obsessed with Excel. So I have always been a pen and paper budgeter, and now I have created an intricate, detailed Excel spreadsheet. It keeps track of my contribution rooms that I have, and tax-free savings accounts and RRSPs and all that sort of stuff. And what I have, it translates over to savings, and I know everything, where everything is, etc. So I have now also created a category within there that will keep track of what I'm spending on a weekly basis. So it adds up the week, it adds into my budget of what I've spent, and also it keeps track of how much I have left. So I will always be aware, and I can't deny that I do not have more spending money on something that is a non-necessity, because it won't be, I will be able to tell, because every time I purchase something, I am updating it. And I'm also trying to keep track of what it is that I purchased so that I am aware of what I'm buying, and I will, after a few months be able to kind of categorize and see like, where am I really wasting my money? And hopefully this will be even better than my original plan to really tackle spending money on things that are important or of more necessity or higher quality than just buying something spur of the moment. Even so, I still feel that I have dramatically cut down on wasted spending. However, I don't really have any hardcore proof because I never really wrote down individually what I purchased, and it would always just show up as, the store that I purchased it at, and you tend to forget what you bought, and that's kind of the point. I do not want to forget what I purchased. I want to know what I purchased. Why did I purchase it? Was it necessary? Am I wasting my money? Hopefully this will give a reality check about something if I need one, which I definitely still do about junk food, I think. And ultimately, in regards to the spreadsheet that I've made, I will have to do more of an update in February, as I didn't really use that budget sheet in January. This is a whole new thing, and I will tell you more of how I feel about it in my February update. And for anyone who's wondering, because I bought a planner and I said that it was for this spending tracking, it is not solely for that. I also am using it for planning out, appointments, cleaning stuff. So it's not going to waste. It's still being used. I am just no longer going to be using it for spending. And as far as purchasing clothes went, in order to get good clothes that I like, that make me feel good about myself and such, I actually was unsuccessful in doing that in the month of January, and not for lack of having money to do it. I'm just very picky, and I don't want to spend a lot of money on the clothes, so I keep searching. We don't really have good thrift stores in this neighborhood. We just kind of have thrift stores that are higher end. Like, we have some ridiculously really high end. I wouldn't even go near it because it's more than the regular stores, because it's like luxury clothing items. But even so, we don't have like Value Village, Goodwill, Salvation Army anywhere near my house. I don't even really know where they are. Maybe I should check that out. So I was unsuccessful in finding anything at the thrift store. My next stop is usually H&M because their pricing is fair, but I didn't like any of the clothes there. And the next stop is like Winners and Marshalls, and I did finally find something at Winners today, actually, in the month of February, and but not in the month of January. And my next video that I'm going to post is going to be on what I did purchase between January and today. So definitely check that out, because you'll see kind of what I consider my spending money and all that stuff. But in regards to January, I was unsuccessful. In February, I found some stuff. They weren't as nice as I wanted, but I still did want a bit more variety, so I went with it. And one of them's kind of a more spring and summer item, but I thought it was a pretty good price and looked good, so I purchased it. So overall, for my financial goals, I'm doing really good in some areas. I did good in January for savings. In regards to keeping track of my spending, I definitely need more work on that, and the clothes, I need more work on that. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how everything did turn out. Nothing's going to turn out exactly as you want it, especially if it's goal of something that you currently were not beating. It takes work. You can't always get it right the first time. And as well, if you find these videos interesting and informative, please click subscribe. I upload videos regularly, and I am hoping that I will be doing a monthly video on my goal updates. So especially if you like this video, click subscribe so that you can see the monthly updates. Have a good day. Bye.